Hi, welcome to my first ever process video, so go easy on me. I decided to do a layout for the 123 January challenge, and it was use the colour yellow, which I have with my lovely Dilutions paint here. The word was together, and the technique was to use some texture. So this is a bit of a mixed media type layout. And here I am with my lovely little brayer. This is an awesome technique I saw on the Dilutions blog. I love my Dilutions, can you tell? So I'm just brayering the colour on, just randomly here and there. Oh yeah, I have to apologise for the really bad lighting. I started this layout at about midnight last night, and I finished it this morning, so the lighting dramatically changes right in the middle of the video. You'll see it looks much better in the daylight, but with two young boys, you know, you scrap when you can. So now I'm just adding splatters with my black Dilutions. Don't you just love my lovely splatter technique? It's awesome, isn't it? Trying to get a mix of big ones and little ones. Lots of fun, lots of fun. So moving on from the lovely splatter, I decided to use some modelling paste as my texture. So I went and got my Kaiser Stars stencil and applied the modelling paste. Now I think I do this like 3 times. I think I cut out one section so you don't have to see me mess around with it for longer than necessary. So I'm just applying it here and there. And then once I put my photo down, I realised I wanted in a little more. So that's the extra that you don't see, thankfully. So now I'm just mounting my photo on some white cardstock just to give it a bit of a border to make it pop off that yellow background a bit. This is a photo of my 2 sisters and I on New Year's Eve that we took. My sister turned it black and white, and I thought it would go good with the yellow background. Just trimming it down to size, nothing too exciting here. And now just playing around with positioning where I want to put it. This is where I work out that I would like to add some more modelling paste, and I've edited that part out, which is pretty cool. Having a look again, still not quite happy with it. Yes, I go for more modelling paste, more stars. So out comes the stencil again. This is where I have an epic fail, so I do edit it out. But I actually put the stencil down, and the modelling paste from the session before is still not quite dry. So I managed to smudge some of my stars a bit, but I clean it up while the modelling paste is still wet as best I can. But you don't see that part, so you can't really tell if you're not looking for it. It takes me a little bit to be happy with the modelling paste and the amount of stars, but I get there in the end. You'll watch some stars magically appear out of nowhere from when I edit that section out where I have the epic fail. And I cut out all the drying time because, you know, no one needs to see that. So he's still not happy with it. See? Magically appearing stars. It's awesome. The joy of editing. But I think I'm finally happy with the stars. Just something to break up the yellow, and not so much yellow and black because it always reminds me of the bumblebee. So white stars it is. And now just playing with the placement of the photo. Now this is where I realised that I want something behind the photo, but I can't figure out what. I tried a doily, not happy with it. What I really wanted was to put some vellum behind it, but I couldn't find any in my stash. I wasn't happy. Then I thought white tissue paper, but would you believe it? I had none of that in my stash either. So what I do is I get some pink tissue paper that I had in my stash, and I paint it white. Yes, how tragic is that? I paint it white, but it did the job. It did what I wanted it to do. It gave it just a bit of texture and a bit of something behind the photo, which is all I wanted. Now I know you're asking, what kind of person doesn't have white tissue paper in their stash? That would be me, yes. As you can see, the light has changed. This is the next day when I finally got to finish it, but I did finish it in one go. So I was quite happy with that. So by the time I got all of this messing around sorted, I decided where I wanted to go with the rest of the layout and got it all done. So this is just all trimming that faux white tissue paper down to size, getting the lines right, because you know I can never cut straight without a trimmer with my big scissors. Just trimming, sticking, nothing exciting happening. I have to admit that yellow Dylusions paint looks a lot different with better light than my crappy lamp from the night before. I really like the way it jumps off that page. I think it came together really good. Ugh, more sticking. Finally, picture on the background. Half the work done. Yay. Now, I knew what I wanted to call this layout. Obviously, I needed the word together because that's part of the challenge. And I did want to call it New Year's Eve together because we celebrated it all together. So I went and found some alphas to match. That Dear Lizzie together was really cute. I was quite happy I had that in my stash. And then the NYE, I chopped up some words to give me the letters I needed. But it did exactly what I wanted it to do. It come together just like I wanted it to. I was quite happy with that. Just trying to figure out where I want my layout. My title, sorry. I'm only new to the ruler technique and I'm not a fan, really. Either half of it comes off or half of it doesn't. It's a real pain. But it's the only way I get anything straight. So I try. I try. Just messing around with that together. The T and the O just looked weird, but I guess it's just the way it came and it works. Just deciding on some finishing touches. That Dear Lizzie sheet came with some black foam stars, which I thought went with it perfectly and just gave it that little finishing touch that I was after, I think. I was quite happy with that. I add a few black sequins here and there and some Kazar gems, and it, looks pretty good to me. Oh, can't forget to tape down the photo. Ugh, tissue paper. Anyone else hate this about tissue paper? Because it's in layers. It never sticks down properly. You've got to stick each individual layer, and that bugs me. But anyway. photo down, almost finally. More tissue paper sticking. But we get there in the end, we do. Oh yes, I decided to put the year down. I think it takes me 3 goes to get where I want to put it right. I found some smaller black alphas in my stash. Wouldn't have a clue what they're called, sorry. But it works. First I go under, don't like it. So I move it. Still messing with that T. In the end, I just decide to leave it and go with it. Moving it over to where I do end up leaving it. But it just gets a little squashed, so I adjust it again. See, this is why most people use the ruler technique, so they get their spacing right. See, this is what happens when I don't do it. But in the end, it looks pretty good. See, moving it over again. All the messing around I do. But anyway. So I hope you've liked my first ever process video. I know there's dodgy areas and the recording isn't the best, but I think for my first go, it's not horrible. Hopefully I will perfect the process as I do more. Oh, that little blonde head is my son. Oh, there's his car. He decides to come and see what I'm doing and tells me that he really likes it. I think he sticks around for the rest of the video. So, if you see little hands or cars, that's why. So now just gluing those black sequins down. Last few finishing touches on the layout. And then some Kazar gems. My son decides to come and steal some in a minute. He thinks I'm not paying attention. He takes off with a few. Almost done with the layout. I really liked this layout, how it came together and how it turned out. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you come back for more. See, there's that little hand stealing some gems. That's my 3-year-old. He's a little monster, but he's cute, so he gets away with a lot. Ugh, that damn tissue paper. I'm starting to wonder if it was a good idea. Next time, I'm just going to staple right in the middle of it. It's like never ending. This is my son telling me he'd like to use my tape roller. See, this is what happens when you have children. You try and scrap during the day when they're awake. But the light's better, so we do what we can. And that's the end layout. I hope you like it. Thanks for watching. Bye.